No. Okay, so today we are talking about compound inequalities. A compound inequality is an inequality made up of two or more inequalities. Okay, so it gives me this graph, and it wants me to use inequalities to describe the set of numbers graphed on this number line. MJ, I'm talking.
Bag and they said you can have 2 cookies, and I got 2 free cookies.
Cool. So I want to write an inequality to represent the solutions in each part of the graph. So I'm going to split it up. I'm going to have this part I'm going to graph down here. So that is -3. The -3 is closed, the 2 is open. Okay, so what is my inequality for the first picture I drew? Close. It's going to the left, so it's less than or equal to -3. Remember, left is less than. Okay, so what is my inequality for the second one? And this one doesn't get a line, how come? Yeah, because it's got an open circle. So, since the inequalities are shading away from each other, this is an example of a disjoint inequality, also known as an OR inequality. Disjoint, because they're not connected, so they're not joint. So, the way to write my answer is going to be x is less than or equal to -3, and then it gets the word or, x is greater than 2. So that's my answer. Okay. So before I start on B, I want to remember closed circles have the line underneath. Nope, the thing's just. And then open are these two symbols. What do you mean, what if it's equal? If it's just like equal and there's no shading, then it's just a dot on a number line. I mean, equal and no inequality. Okay, so on this one, notice how the shading is between -4 and 1. Oops, that one should have been shading. My bad. I thought the blank was in a different spot. So when the shading is between two values, this is called a conjunction. Inequality, and it can also be known as an and inequality. Okay, so how would I write my inequality for this part? The negative 4. X is what? It's only shaded, in case it's a little bit hard for you guys to see. So notice that this line is between the two dots, so it's going to be greater than or equal to negative 4, because it's higher than that value. And then what's the other one going to be? I heard someone say less than. What number? 1. Okay. So I can rewrite this as negative 4 is less than or equal to x. And then I have x is less than 1. I just did what was on the left side first, because negative 4 is smaller than x. So because it's between, and it doesn't have any arrows, I'm going to write this as one inequality. I'm going to have the negative 4 on the left side, the x in the middle to represent where the line is shaded, and less than 1. Okay, so the compound inequality that describes this graph is negative 2 is less than or equal to x, or no, negative 2 is less than x is less than or equal to 6. Stephen, sit down. Okay. So when we're solving a compound inequality involving OR, you must solve each inequality separately. It's just the backside. Can someone move that eraser? That's what you had yesterday.
It's not fair because I wasn't here yesterday.
Yeah, I was working.
Okay, so it might be easier to graph them separately. Guys, quiet down. However, the final graph must include both inequalities. Okay, so I'm going to split this one up that it wants me to solve. I'm going to split it up into two separate problems to solve. I'm going to have 5x minus 7 is less than 13. And then negative 4x plus 3 is greater than 11. So how do I solve this first inequality? Add 7 to both sides. So I have 5x is less than 20. Then what do I want to do? Divide both sides by 5. So I get x is less than 4. So I'm going to put this on a number line. What kind of circle? Open or closed?
Open.
Left or right?
Left.
Okay. Questions on the first inequality I solved? I did. It's a 13. So I added 7 to 13 to get 20. Okay. So on the second inequality, what do I want to do first? Guys, what do I want to do first on the second problem? Okay, I'm looking at it. I want to subtract 3 on both sides. So I have negative 4x is greater than, what's 11 minus 3?
What are your temples? That's what I said.
Okay, then what do I want to do? Can you wait a little bit for me to finish this problem? 4? Negative 4. I should be the only one talking right now. So, what am I left with? I have x is... Does this say 8? Less than negative 2. Why did my sign change directions? Okay, so then I want to go ahead and graph this. What kind of circle is it getting? Left or right? Okay. So I want to go ahead and graph this on the same number line. Helps if I move this up the screen so you can see it. So I'm going to start off with the 4. That's an open circle to the left. And then I also have the negative 2. That's also an open circle to the left. So notice how these two are going on top of each other. Notice how these two are going on top of each other. My solution here is just going to be x is less than 4. I don't have to write the other part because x is less than 2 is covered by this. Or x is less than negative 2.